Hey guys, Rich here with Brotherhood Reviews, and we're back talking about an anime, and Chainsaw Man is the hype. Well, I don't know if it's the hype so far, but the first two episodes were funny, action packed, and was really enjoying and in tune the whole time. And um, yeah, I just had a really good time watching it. So, and that's all you can really ask from a show or an anime, or anything you consume, is just for it to grasp you the whole time. Now, before we get into the breakdowns, I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. More content coming, every day, trying to get it out every day as much as I can. But anyways, to the breakdown, we're going to be talking about episodes 1 and 2, and we're going to be talking about episode 1 first, then 2, obviously. Now we meet Denji. Denji's a kid, orphaned, and then he's being bullied, I believe, and then he finds Puchta, and Puchta is this devil dog chainsaw, and he is injured, so he ends up taking him. Puchta bites him. He's like, nah, bro, like, like, I'm not here to hurt you, like, let me help you out. So he patches Puchta up, they become friends, and then he becomes a devil hunter. He works for this guy who pays him crap and treats him like even worse. He stays in like a shed. So it's really, it's he has a really sad life, but they also show that like he is satisfied with it. Like, obviously not satisfied, but he's happy that like he can work, make money, feed Puchta, and just have a friend. And it's really touching, like, because you really feel that relationship between him and Puchta very early, and then he gets set up by this zombie demon devil that takes control over the dude he works for, and they kill him. Like, it's brutal. Chop him up, throw him in this dumpster. But Puchta ends up giving him his becoming his heart so he could live again. Puchta says like, yo, like, I just want you to follow your dream, and I'll see your dream through your eyes. Now, he comes out, chainsaws arms, head, and starts cutting a slough through the zombies and defeats them. And then Makima comes in at the end, sees him as a chainsaw devil, and she's like, oh, and they're like, should we take care of him? And she's like, I don't think he's a threat, I think he's the one who did this. So she goes up to him, and he's like, hug me. He hugs her, and everything melts off, like the chainsaws melt off, which I thought looked amazing, the way it melted off his face. And that's pretty much what happened in episode 1. It was very entertaining. Like I said, like, I enjoyed every minute of it. Now in episode 2, Makima ends up taking him and like, all right, well, I actually work for a real organization that hunts devils, and since you hunt devils and are a devil now, I'm gonna take you and you can start working for our company. So he's like, oh, okay. And then he's hungry, he keeps passing out, and I'm like, yo, this dude is passing out, but it's probably because he's never changed before, plus he's technically just got resurrected, and he never really ate like that before because he was making sure Puchta had food. Now at this point, he's like never had this kind of conversation with another person before. So Denji's talking to Makima, and he's like, yo, like, this chick is like, I've never been treated like an actual human being before. Like, that's his whole reaction, and I thought that was like crazy to see, because it's really like, yo, like, I've never had this type of almost a friendship. But now you know how it is. He starts simping for her because he's like, okay, so she brings him to the base. He gets a uniform and she sets him up with this one guy who's like he's gonna be training you for now. And so they go on a couple missions and they get into a fight. The trainer tries to get him to quit. He's like, nah. He's like, I'm trying to get with Makima. He wants to, what he wants to, yeah. Yeah, I know what I mean. He wants to grab her boobs. He wants to attempt it. And, he starts talking to him about, like, yeah, does she have a boyfriend? This, that, and the third. And he's like, why would she waste herself on somebody like you? And their little banter back and forth is pretty funny. And they get into a fight. But Denji's starts kicking him in the nuts. And he's like, I'm only kicking you in the nuts. Like, you're a guy, bro. Like, you're not a devil. You're not a girl. I'm kicking you straight in the nuts. So he squares up and he kicks him right in the nuts. He's like, you really did just go for the nuts. Like, that's it. It's a funny, like, interaction. And he ends up staying. They end up being like, whatever. And then they go on to another mission where he chops a demon's head off. And then he finds out the other dude, I don't even remember his name. I didn't even like him. He's too much of a, anyways, chops off his head. And he's like, yo, why did you just kill him like that? Like, why didn't you go all out and turn into a devil? And he's like, I don't know how to control it, one, and I think that would have been overkill for a devil like this. And he was like, well, my goal is to make all devils suffer because they made one of my friends suffer or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're crazy. You're doing this off the thrill and revenge at this point, because now it sounds like you got a little thrill out of torturing these devils. But he's like, oh, well, at the end of the conversation, he's like, well, I've never had a friend. So, and he was like, I'll keep that in mind. Like, okay, like you can't understand somebody if you've never been in that situation. So no matter what happens, like, Denji, besides Puchta, if you want to count Puchta as a friend, but he probably doesn't really see Puchta as a friend or something like that, because he said, nah, I never had a friend. So the guy, his trainer walks off. They go back to the base, and Makima's like, all right, I think it's time for you to get a partner. And this chick with horns pop up, who's also, I believe, a devil like him. She's like, my name is Power, and I guess you're my so-called partner. And it's just funny because he's like, nah, I ain't with having no partners. I'm sick of this. I thought I was going to be with Makima next. And then he sees that it's a girl. And he's like, well, you know what? Who am I to stop us from being partners? Nice to meet you. It's too funny. And then they actually get their first mission, and she goes nuts. Like, she makes blood come out, turns it into a hammer, and destroys the devil immediately. And she has this maniacal laugh that I love, and I can't wait to see more of her. Low-key about to start reading the manga, because I had just got the manga, if you guys saw my manga haul, but I can't wait to see what happens next. But that's my thoughts on episode 1 and 2 and my breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, and I hope you guys have a good day, time, night, whenever you guys are listening to this. Thank you.